Hey there, everybody. Meteorologist Will Haney here, coming to you live. It is Friday night at about 9:40 p.m. I am going to try and keep this a little bit more brief than I usually do, so we're going to zoom through quite a bit, but there is a good amount to talk about regarding the weekend forecast and just our mild pattern that's setting up into next week. A couple systems will swing through here between now and late next week, neither of which to me look all that significant, but nonetheless, we'll touch on that, some of the impacts we could see from that. It's also an anniversary today, which we'll hit on here in just a moment. So I'm starting off just with a live look at live Doppler radar. There's been some steadier light rain ongoing farther north. Farther south, a little drizzly, little pockets of rain, although it's not quite as steady as our friends farther north. As I zoom in a little bit closer, I'll make our graphics a little larger as well. You can see some pockets of very light rain. Mainly southwest of Kalamazoo, although some of that could clip Kalamazoo County within the next few hours or so. Hello, Jaden. What's up? So as we look at another thing happening right now, which is the potential for some fog, I'll just get into that here in just a second. First, I just wanted to show you our temperatures right now are hovering in those middle 30s, so no worries of any freezing precipitation tonight. But checking in on those visibilities, we do have about a half mile being reported in Three Rivers, Sturgis, Coldwater, primarily in our southern counties. That's also fancy that, where we have a dense fog advisory that's in effect through 11 a.m. So this speaks to the possibility for some fog with localized visibility less than a quarter mile, which is enough to slow things down and make it a little treacherous for travel out there. So definitely, if you're in any of these areas, just drive extra carefully tonight, and remember, don't use your high beams in fog. That's not to say I think we will see some fog elsewhere. It's just that the National Weather Service hasn't gone ahead with any dense fog advisories anywhere else. So I think that speaks to the confidence just in a lack of widespread dense fog elsewhere. I think there will be some pockets of dense fog, though, in some of those locations. I was keeping tabs on this camera here in Coldwater, and you can see it there. There's the fog we were just showing you in the visibility reports, probably down to about a half mile. That's what the airport was reporting there. You can make out some of the lights off in the distance, and every once in a while, some headlights from a car. But yeah, some pretty dense fog down in Branch County right now. I do want to just briefly touch on the fact that we did see a good amount of rain in the last couple days. So I have kind of a visual of that. This is essentially since last night. A lot of areas got about 3/4 of an inch to an inch since last night. And we've even added on to that probably a little bit today, especially up in like Grand Rapids, although that rain that's ongoing right now is pretty light. What's up, Kathy in Kalamazoo? Kathy Kinsey in Kalamazoo. Some good alliteration there. Yeah, so we have had a decent amount of rainfall. This does beg the question, and sometimes we get a little timid this time of year when we get some rain with all the melting snow. Some of our storm drains, make sure you're clearing those out. Colin did a story on that. While it is, I think, the local township or city's responsibility to do it, they don't, obviously, they're not mad if you want to clear it out yourself. If you take a shovel and if you notice a storm drain on your street, I noticed it myself. A few days ago on my street, there was a good amount of pooling in our street, and it was because the storm drain was clogged. So I just took a shovel. It took like 5 seconds, cleared it out, and then all of a sudden it was like a waterfall, a surge of water. But anyways, the reason why I'm bringing this up is we got a good amount of rain. We've had the melting snow. This begs the question, how are our rivers doing? Fortunately, I think most of our rivers are going to be just fine from this. The only one where we have just to watch for some minor flooding is the Grand River primarily. It's mainly just due to the fact that Grand Rapids had a little bit more of a snow base, a little bit more moisture content in their snowfall. But the good thing is that our risk of ice jams remains pretty low. Ice jams are kind of they're a very complex thing to forecast. It would be a lot more concerning if we had a rapid warm up and a rapid, bunch of rain. But fortunately, we've had a slow kind of gradual warm up in the last several days. With several days of kind of wet weather. So it's not necessarily as concerning. But to just kind of reiterate that point, the only flood watch that we have right now is Comstock Park. That's a little north of downtown Grand Rapids. This is a traditional trouble spot of the Grand River, and shouldn't be really too widespread as far as impacts. Those that live in that area are pretty well versed with some minor flooding that happens there pretty often. I'd say it's like a handful of times. It feels like every year we get that flood watch and warning issued in that specific location. So this weekend, It's Lions game weekend. 41 tomorrow. We are going to see some fog in the morning, then we'll stay cloudy. 38 on Sunday, some morning rain, snow mix, and then we'll remain cloudy. Shocker. As we look ahead with your multi-day snapshot here, the only next best chance of really any sort of snow would be next Tuesday. To me, this doesn't really look all that concerning though right now because our temperatures are going to warm into the upper 30s. Any snowfall on Tuesday / into early Wednesday looks to be pretty light as well. It would primarily, I think, be a grassy accumulation, if anything, just given the temperatures that we're seeing. And I think there's a decent chance we could see almost more rain than snow in that equation. So that's something we'll just have to kind of watch. But yeah, nonetheless, temperatures are staying pretty mild as we look ahead at kind of the extended pattern, and they're not moving around a whole lot. We're not going to get that Arctic shot of air like we saw last week. And likewise, I don't think, at least in the next 7 to 10 days, going to see anything like insane as far as warmth. We're not going to see, I don't think, like anything like what they saw today in Washington, D.C. They were in the upper 70s, low 80s today in parts of Virginia, which is just bananas. So we're not going to see anything like that, just like we're not going to see anything like super Arctic. But we will see this theme of just slightly warmer than average continuing. And you can see that here on this chart. This is the next 7 to 10 days, showing high temperatures pretty consistently in the upper 30s, low 40s. There is a chance as we look at kind of the first week to like 7 to 10 days of February, there is a chance that some spots could see some 50s. It's not out of the question. I think a more conservative estimate right now would be some lower to mid 40s though. I'm just going to jump ahead really quick to your Celiac Group 7-day forecast. Kip, thanks for the report. My friend Kip Kirby, what's up, Kip? Hopefully you're doing well, my friend. Jeff, 36 in Cresco. Thank you. I hope I said that right, Jeff. That's one of the ones I always mess up, so I'm really sorry. I think it's Cresco. Ceresco. Send me a message, Jeff, with a pronunciation. I got to look that one up. Still, every once in a while, some of the small towns and townships I have like mental blocks for, and that's one of them. So I'm sorry, Jeff. Mike, happy Friday. Go Lions. A lot of Go Lions in there. Go Lions, Barbara. All right, Lorna, Ashimo is watching. Oh, right. I was going to talk about something else, you guys, just really quickly. And then I'm going to wrap this up because I was running a little late. I apologize. I was catching up on some emails. Really quickly, I wanted to share this. So this is an anniversary day, January 26th. It was the blizzard of 1978 and 1967. Kind of weird. Two of our most historic blizzards here in West Michigan happening essentially on the same day. If you look at this article, now this is actually from 2 years ago. So I will admit, this 44-year thing right there, it's actually 46 years. I know, crazy, right? Math. But yeah, blizzard conditions materialized across much of the Great Lakes region on Thursday, January 26, 1978. Rapidly intensifying storm system lifted north from the southeastern U.S., tapping into Arctic air, which had already spilled into Michigan. All right. This is what I was getting at, though. So on this day alone, this is the record amount of snow that we've ever seen in a calendar day in both Grand Rapids and Kalamazoo. So Grand Rapids, 16.1 inches on January 26th, 1978. And then on January 26th, 1978, Kalamazoo saw 18 inches of snow. That was not the storm total. That was just for that calendar day. So that's the most snow Kalamazoo has ever seen in a single calendar day. But as we zoom down here really quickly, you can see there were reports up to about 22 inches in Kalamazoo. Now, that does not account for the crazy amount of snow drifts that happened during 78 especially. The other thing is that 20 inches in 1967, that's the official measurement, but there were some reports of up to about 30 inches from January 26th to the 27th, 1967. So yeah, that's the storm I always talk about, and we always talk about because it was just so notable. And anyone that lived through that storm will often tell you they remember it, and that is just like the crazy benchmark storm for a lot of people. So Ceresco. Okay, Jeff, that's why it was tripping me up. I thought it was Ceresco, but then I was like, Is that a new one? Hello in Chicago. Chris. What's up, Chris in Chicago? We got some Chicago. I don't know, Chris, if you're visiting Chicago from West Michigan or if you maybe come here in the summer, but hey, shout out Chicago. We got the Lions support from Chris in Chicago. I think the Lions, y'all, I don't know a lot about sports, I will say. I mean, I know sports, but I don't follow sports, if that makes sense. Hopefully that makes sense. But I do know, I think the Lions are kind of a favorite. I know that much. Like, even if you're not a Lions fan, if you're looking for someone to root for, I think the Lions could be a good pick. Now, again, I don't know much, but I think there's a pretty good storyline with the Lions this year, so I'm told. Apparently, we have a pretty cool head coach and, like, a bunch of – I'm just kidding. All right, Kelly. That was a crazy storm. All right. I have to go, you guys. I know this was a little shorter, a little less rambly than I usually am, even though this was still pretty rambly. But thank you so much for watching. Again, just watch for a little rain snow mix late Saturday into Sunday. It's not going to amount to much. I don't think it's going to lead to impacts. I don't think we'll see advisories or anything, but just don't be shocked if you see some wet snowflakes early Sunday. And then kind of a similar story here, Tuesday/Wednesday. That one could see a little bit of more of a coating on the grass, which, again, we're seeing more grass now than snow, especially in some of the locations that missed out on the more significant lake effect snow late last week. So with that, I'm going to wrap this up. Good evening in Burlington. What's up, Jim Allen in Burlington? Are you related to Tim Allen? Maybe. Shannon, good evening. Are we getting any snow anytime soon? Tim Allen's cousin? Maybe. No, I just kind of answered that. It's not going to really amount to much on Tuesday. Cindy, happy birthday, Michigan. I forgot about that. Yeah, happy birthday, Michigan. Today's Michigan's birthday, y'all. All right, I'm going to wrap this up. I've said that 8,000 times. I always do. And I hope you guys have a great night. I'll be back tomorrow and Sunday. We'll have the latest on 10 on the ARC. It's our new channel. It's still the same channel. Just replace the CW. And then News Channel 3 at 11. Appreciate y'all. Tim, are you really Jim Allen? Are you really Tim Allen's cousin? Because if so, that's really cool. All right.